So, hello, Go I Win. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. You made a rap album with about 20 artists to protest against the military government in Myanmar. What if someone told you, hey, I've seen videos of protests, but I actually don't know too much about what's happening in Myanmar? How would you explain it to them?
It's like we got a coup on the February 1st from the military regime. They don't want to accept the people government that who won the elections few months before that. So they make a stage coup. So people start to protest out. Like we had a not pure democracy, like around 70% democracy before the coup for 5 years. And then we all got a taste of the freedom itself. So they, when this coup start to happen, so people start to protest also. And the military junta, they crack down so bad, and we try to protest, and everything's become revolutions right now.
What was the day of the military coup like for you? How did you experience it?
The very beginning of the coup, I was awake very early. That's why I got the information. And then at around like 7 p.m. or 6:30 a.m. 7 a.m. Like they're gonna know internet and they're gonna know phone line. We cannot connect each other anymore. For like half of the day. And then we got back to the internet and my phone line after that. Luckily, I got a chance to look at my phone for a while before I go to the walk. And they got also detaining. And I telling all my friends and family that I'm the first one who knew among my friends.
And how did you become active in the movement?
For me, I just like getting inside propaganda side of thing by the music, so that the military know that the art can make a huge difference, kind of social change. So yeah, I just trying to support the music. The thing is that everything is so tragic, and half of my friends are gone. So and a lot of people are staying in the prison. So I have to keep on doing at least something. Otherwise, I become hopeless. So they got people like they don't care about the politics anymore, and they just go back to their normal daily lifestyle. But for me, I feel suffocating for me because and living under the regime. Because I cannot dream like openly, and I cannot live like freedom, live like freedom, and I cannot think openly at all because it's so suffocating. So I have to keep on fight against with them. Yeah.
Did you say you lost half of your friends?
Yeah, half of my friends.
I'm so sorry to hear that. It's unimaginable, really.
Yeah.
So it's also a form of therapy for you?
Yeah, like a kind of therapy for me to make me relieve. Yeah, I can't like walk other things like commercial stuff. I can't do it anymore. So I feel guilty on doing it. So that's why I choose the political art, and revolution art.
Wow. So you chose music as a form of protest. But there's also many people who, after these horrible experiences, decided to take on weapons and fight back. What's the discussions about this in Myanmar? Are there different groups, with some saying we should remain peaceful in our protest? Or what's the general discussions?
So with the peace is not an option right now at the moment. So we only have to. They crack down so brutally. It's really, really bad, and a lot of cases. And then I even see with my own eyes, and like during the protests, and when they crack down, we all like a lot of young people, like we just went out and trying to protest it out, and then I saw a guy like who got shot at the back, and then when he ran away from the line, and then another guy, just like few minutes later, another guy got a headshot by this kind of long range from it. That they like literally like they managed to they really kill all the protesters, and they want to show what they like they are stronger than us, and then they want to put the fear on the people and civilians. So like back in the time in 2007 they got the one revolution there, and 1988 they got the one revolution there, and 1996 also. They like that's not the only the beginning. Just back then like we had a lot of conflicts, and this one is like the most biggest one ever in the revolutions. Yeah, because like they don't care at all. They just like murder on the street. That they just beaten at us like with no reason. So like they got no human rights. It's at the time. So we just trying to keep silence, and we try to manipulate in the digital way and trying to protest it out. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's really important what you already mentioned, right? 1988, the history of this conflict, that it's back and forth between military governments and democratic leadership since the end of World War II. And there's always been armed conflict, right? You mentioned the EAOs, the ethnic armed organizations. Some of them have been in armed conflict with the central government since the 1940s, I think, right? So it's like the longest.
Yeah, true.
There's always been fighting.
Civil war there. Yeah, yes. Longest civil war so far, I guess. Yeah.
So it's really important to point out also for the listeners to understand the scope of the brutality and the oppression that's really been going on for many, many decades. Now, you also said there's a lot of protest digitally. I'm also, you know, on my Instagram, I'm following many Myanmar activists and try to keep up with what's happening. But this is also like the big difference to anything that's been there before, no? Like in the 1988 uprising, which is also called the 8888. Of course, I'm not explaining it to you. I'm explaining it to the listeners.
Listeners. Great.
So back then, one of the big aspects was that the world didn't really know about it. There was almost no photos, just a very, very few photographers who managed to smuggle out some images. And there were so many massacres that we don't even know about because they were not recorded. There was no internet, there was no media. So now this should be the big difference. How exactly do you see this difference? Is it really that? Is it a big advantage, or what's your opinion on this?
Yeah, this is the biggest advantage. The internet helps us a lot, and the information spreads so fast. That got a big advantage, but also there's also the bad side as well, which is like a lot of fake news and propaganda stay going on. Like the very beginning of the first coup on the February 1st, like the government like banned all the Facebook product, metaverse products like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and but they don't ban the Tinder though. That was the one of the funny thing about them. It's that they know that like people own the internet, so they cannot, because we already got a experience from the Rohingya crisis. Like the government used the like hate speech on the internet, so like people got like brainwashed and like some people might turn to evil. So those are the bad example from the past. So we try to this time that we have to like really, really aware and fact check about everything towards to fight against them. So yeah, even though they ban it, we use the VPN to stay using it. A lot of people like they want to use Myanmar. Most of the Myanmar people use a lot of Facebook, a lot on Facebook. So yeah, so that we got a like up to date informations, and we got a like connections, like telecommunication, instead of like we use like a lot of like different apps like Signal, Telegram, everywhere, and and Discord too. So like with a lot of like different ID and talk each other, and we share information each other, and we support each other. That's a huge advantage of these revolutions. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Because Facebook is also a problem for social movements, no? Or problem for democracy in general. I mean, there's been the Facebook papers just recently, and Myanmar was one of the cases where the algorithms which promote very emotional content, right? Angry content.
Yeah.
But there's not many content managers who speak Burmese who could check what's even written. That also played a large role in the Rohingya genocide, no? That there was a lot of false information, but also no possibility to check it. And I remember one of my friends said to me, in Myanmar, the internet is the same as Facebook, because you buy a smartphone and there's Facebook on it, and this is your access to the internet. And most people are not even aware that there's different pages, different ways of communicating. But now you mentioned a few other ones. So is that changing?
So like not actually like not. Like people try to educate the people how to use properly on the social medias, but not everyone is like not everyone is still blur on the Facebook, that they cannot use other Google product, and they just only use Facebook. Everything they need to know that they just look on the Facebook. But that's still not accomplished yet. But only the like young people and who really have a like intellectual, strong intellectual people can use the Facebook very well. For me, I deactivate my Facebook for my safety. Plus, it's so toxic right now. So toxic right now. So I just don't use it, and I use with the another account, with the fake account, to try to catch up the news from the BBC and RFA and DVB. Those are we had like 4 or 5 different kind of like media outlet that show the true side of the situation. So I just try to follow up, because when I go out, when I'm about to go out, I need to check on the news, because what was happening on the streets. So I don't need to go on that side of the towns in order to avoid those military checkpoint and stuff. They might probably want to arrest me and ask me a lot of questions.
Before we dig deeper into the political situation and the role of the military, one last question concerning the protest movement and the demonstrations. Can you tell us some of the most widely used slogans and the shouts, the chants that the protesters use, and what they mean?
Democracy, Yashi do. That's the one, like we want to ask for the democracy that we usually do. And I like the one like debate, mob. Is the boycott everything. We just try to boycott the establishment at the part.
One of the songs on the album even starts with protest shouts. It's the one that you already also just mentioned, the Demokrasi Yashi. And it's really nicely embedded into the beat. So let's hear it. Our Cause from Rap Against Junta.
democracy ရရှိရေးတို့ရေးတို့ရေးတို့ရေး democracy ရရှိရေးအသေးတွေမွေးခဲ့ရမယ်စောက်မျိုးရုပ်တွေအုံနောက်မရှိပဲနေရလို့ချင်းပြီးတော့တောက်တစ်မျိုးလုံးဘယ်တော့မှနောက်တော့မဆုပ်ရှင်းတဲ့နေကြောက်ရုပ်လို့အာနာရှင်စနစ်ကိုအမြင့်ကနေစောက်ထိုးလို့တတိနဲ့လူတွေထွက်အတိုင်းပြီးထွက်အသက်ကိုပေးလို့နေတာဘက်ချက်နောက်တစ်ခုကလက်နဲ့ညာဘက်ဆိုဆက်ပန်နေမေလို့တော့ပုံနဲ့ကဲနေနေနဲ့ကွက်ကျွဲပါဆောင်တီလို့ဖြတ်တဲ့နာကတဲ့လက်နေတဲ့လူငယ်တွေရဲ့အိမ်မက်တွေကိုဖြတ်အဲ့ဒါခေတ်ဆက်ဆက်ညစ်ပတ်တဲ့ညစ်ပတ်လာတဲ့စစ်တဲ့မင်းတို့တွေမထင်မှတ်ထားလောက်အောင်ကိုမြင်ကပ်ပြည်သူရဲ့ချင်းဘက်အခုချက်ချင်းပြေးထွက်မစင်ဘက်တွေနှလုံးသားမရှိမင်းတို့မအုံနောက်မရှိဒါမှရက်ကွက်ထဲမှာသေးတဲ့တလန်တွေကိုဆို3ယောက်ရှိဟိုနေရာမှာဘုံပေါက်ပြီးဒီနေရာမှာဘုံပေါက်ပြီးမင်းတို့လူတော်မင်းတို့ကိုပြမုံလောက်ပြီးဒီမိုကရေစီရရှိရေးတို့ရေးတို့ရေးတို့ရေးဒီမိုကရေစီရရှိရေးအောက်ခြေမှာနေခံရတဲ့စစ်သားတွေညင်းဆဲမရဘူးကြုံတွေလှစ်လျူရှူထားတဲ့တက်တွေအသက်များအာနာရှင်အတွက်ပြည်သူကိုတဲ့ရတာမင်းတက်လာအတွက်ခဲ့လိုက်မင်းပဲလူမျိုးပဲပါတာဝင်ဖြစ်နေပါစေတူတူတွန်းလက်ကြအားလုံးအာနာရှင်စနစ်တချို့တွေတော်တယ်မတော်နိုင်လဲငွေအပါလာရင်ဖြစ်တယ်ပတ်သက်များရင်တက်နိုင်ဘူးဆိုအခါခါဝင်ကလစ်တချို့ကကြဆုံးသွားတဲ့လူငယ်တွေတော့ဝမ်းနေပြပြီးတော့ပိုးလာလေးတွေလူအိမ်မှာပြင်းနေဖြစ်စား luxury ပစ္စည်းတွေကိုမင်းဝယ်နေစေပဲလားငါတို့တွေပတ်သက်လုံးဝဖြုံးတင်တော့မနေနဲ့မငါပြောမယ်အားလုံး PDF drug can sue လူနေတာဘက်ချက်တော့ကူကလက်နဲ့ညာဘက်ဆိုဆက်ပန်နေမေလို့တပုံကဲနေနေနဲ့ကွက်ကျွဲပါဆောင်တီလို့ဖြတ် democracy ရရှိရေးတို့ရေးတို့ရေးတို့ရေး democracy ရရှိရေးရေးကငါတို့ရေးပဲငါတို့အားလုံးရှိကိုတိုးဒီမိုကရေစီရရှိရေးကငါတို့ရေးပဲတော်လန်ရေးကငါတို့ရေးပဲငါတို့အားလုံးရှိကိုတိုးဒီမိုကရေစီရရှိရေးကငါတို့ရေးပဲတော်လန်ရေးကငါတို့ရေးပဲငါတို့အားလုံးရှိကိုတိုးဒီမိုကရေစီရရှိရေးကငါတို့ရေးပဲတော်လန်ရေးကငါတို့ရေးပဲငါတို့အားလုံးရှိကိုတိုးဒီမိုကရေစီရရှိရေးကငါတို့ရေးပဲတော်လန်ရေးကငါတို့ရေးပဲငါတို့အားလုံးရှိကိုတိုးဒီမိုကရေစီရရှိရေးကငါတို့ရေးပဲတော်လန်ရေးကငါတို့ရေးပဲငါတို့အားလုံးရှိကိုတိုးဒီမိုကရေစီရရှိရေးကငါတို့ရေးပဲတော်လန်ရေးကငါတို့ရေးပဲငါတို့အားလုံးရှိကိုတိုးဒီမိုကရေစီရရှိရေးကငါတို့ရေးပဲတော်လန်ရေးကငါတို့ရေးပဲငါတို့အားလုံးရှိကိုတိုး
That was the song Our Cause from Rap Against Junta, and I'm still here in an interview with one of the producers, Go I Win. Before we speak about the music project itself, I'd like to talk a little bit more about the political situation and the military. To understand the position of the military in Myanmar, it's, as always, important to understand the history. So please, can you tell us about that?
Oh, yeah, but after the World War II, we got independent. And then they got a coup happened in around 1960 by the general Ne Win, and he trying to change our country into socialism. And yeah, that's the whole beginning of it. So that all the country, like both countries, business and everything become public, and they trying to like seize everything. So they all ran away. Even the one of the brand called the Tiger Balm. It's an animal oil, like the one is put on your body. The Tiger Balm is quite famous around the world. Yeah, that one is especially mainly from the Myanmar. The owner, like he flee to Singapore because of they got a coup happened in 1960, and then his brand got famous worldwide.
Because, I didn't know that. I always use it.
Yeah, a lot of people like it. It's really good. That's a thing. And so like the one thing is like why they so loyal, right? So when the coup happened in the 1960s and then we become socialism. All those military people, right, they don't know anything about politics, they don't know how to manage the country at all, and then they are really an educated person. So how they manage them is like they just give them kind of like a opportunity, or how do I say, it's like just trying to you got the authority, and then you can corrupt everything on your own. So that also like that's why the military is so corrupted, and the country become goes into the poorest nation in the Southeast Asia afterwards. So like military, they don't want to give their own support because of like they make so much money, and then like in the army, right? Like if I join the barrack, right, they always ask the question, why you want to join the army? And a lot of people say I want to get rich. That's why they join the army and stuff. Yeah, they're rich. I like they got a lot. Even my friends are they are not from the military, but their parents from the military. That they rich. They live like a leveraged lifestyle, and some of them like they got a young age. They are a young age, so they can the young age, and they got promoted easily on their places and all, and they make their own. And so that like after that, and they like 5 years ago that we got a democracy, right? So they laundering a lot by because of the military people. They are like old, and they are they don't know not a lot. Their sons and daughter who are like younger people like us, and they send them to abroad, and they educated. They came back. They make a business by cleaning the black money to white money. Yeah. That's why they cannot give away their spots, and the country is so rich in the other things like in jewels, rubies. That in Myanmar is the only one country in the world that can find the ruby, and we don't have a diamond, by the way. Luckily. And then today I heard the news, and I saw a lot of the jade mine that they got like mountains are demolished. So like a lot of people like who are like trying to find those like stones and gems like got like under the stones and stuff, so they die. Like the ones like keep on happening every like daily struggle lifestyle in those area. They sell the country out a lot.
Yes, there's really heartbreaking documentaries on the working conditions in these mines. And of course,
and you know,
if there was a industry that was democratic, well paying, also with security measurements. I mean, Myanmar could be a very rich country because of all these natural resources, but it's just Let's talk about the EAOs, the ethnic armed organizations. I mean, some of the listeners who are not very familiar with Myanmar history, just to explain to them, right? There's a country with hundreds of ethnic groups, or more than 100. It's a question of how you count them, but there's always this official number, right? What is it, 107 or something like that?
Yeah, around there, I think they got a lot, and they got the majority ethnic groups as well. In total, it's and in total, it's 8 major ethnic people in Myanmar. Yeah, and Burma is the most populated one.
Yes. So we imagine, we see this country, there's Burmese in the center and just a lot of different ethnic groups around with armed organizations which have been in armed conflict for decades. And now in the mainland, there's protests, there's students who, lived their whole lives in the cities and now experience the coup, go to demonstrations, they witness, people get shot. You described it to us very... you described it to us how also what you experienced, and then there's people going to the guerrillas to get training, right? So how much is that happening? Would you say that's like half of the people are already gone and had military training, or how exactly does it work? And are the people coming back, or are they then staying in the jungle? How exactly does this work?
Actually, it depends. Like those are the PDF. This revolution is the first time the majority of Burma people just start to fight against the military regime. But then there are only EAO, other ethnic organizations that are like against the military regime. So yeah, some of them like they join the EAO trainings and they live in the jungle. Yeah, and they got the villages there, and then they go down to the city and they fight or they bomb them. That's how they do. Some people they went back to the city that they came from, and like Yangon, the biggest city in Myanmar, and other Mandalay and all, and they trying to bomb or like drive-by shoot down the banker and all. So that's what's like how they like those the EAO organization arrange that which is suitable, who are the suitable for the urban guerrilla, who are suitable for the like the real battle in the jungle or guerrilla battle jungle style. And yeah, that's two different, like they arrange those people and more reliable persons, mostly more reliable persons are sent to the urban guerrilla. Urban guerrilla is very dangerous than the fight against the, but everything is dangerous, but like urban guerrilla is even more dangerous. Yeah.
So one is some people become urban guerrilla fighters, and the other ones are staying in the jungle.
Jungle and fight with the like kind of like they fight like face to face with the battalion of the military regime. That's what two different things. Yeah.
Okay, and the PDF, can you explain to us what they are?
So PDF are the freer fighters of the revolutionists and fighters of our people, like heroes right now.
And some of the EAOs are also part of PDF, right? Like the Kachin Independence Army.
Yeah, a lot. Luckily, we have EAO. Otherwise, we are doomed. We really thanks to EAO. Yeah, they help a lot. They share a lot, and yeah.
So now let's talk more about the project. We haven't really talked about music a lot yet.
Yeah.
So
it's okay.
Where did you get the idea to make this project, Rap Against Junta?
I just love to be inside the hip hop communities at the gig, and then when to crack down, we cannot make a gig anymore. So we trying to put everything into the internet and become digitalized form of art. And so the founder of the RAJ is already there, and they recruit me, and I became the project director and manager of it. So the very first project that I brought is the collaboration of the MITI Alliance, MITI Alliance countries, so like Thailand, Myanmar, India, Indonesia, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. So I try to connect all those rappers from the regions and make a one music track. So it took around 5 months for that project. After that, followed by the album, album called the Dick Council album, which consists of the 12 tracks, all about the revolutions. So I have a lot of it's like kind of like a creative resistance to the military junta. And then they got a new project coming up. We're going to release next year, which is about to. It's the combination of the ethnic rap track. So this is going to be the first ever rap track that in Myanmar, that combination of all those ethnic languages into one. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a very strong message.
Yeah.
is there any way people can support you and your work, support this project? Just stream the songs all the time, or can we donate somewhere?
Yeah, like apparently we don't accept the donation, so yeah, just stream it. Yeah, just stream it all the way. Yeah, like because I got no reason to ask for the money right now. So yeah. Better stream and subscribe and tell other people that they got the group called Rap Against Junta in Myanmar that fight against the military regime and like kind of underground dystopia style of things. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to say?
Yeah, thanks for listening, and yeah, we don't know the future, so one day it's like you might don't know that something might change, and you better prepare for it. Yeah. So you should aware of it like beforehand, otherwise you will get lost and what things start to happen. Yeah. I don't know what to say anymore.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So to end this interview, we will listen to another song, which is the only female artist on the album.
She's on the run right now. She's like I'm very close with her, but personally she's like running right now. I don't know where she at. Like few weeks ago.
And can you tell us more about her story, or is it not a good idea for a public interview?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good idea.
And can you tell us what she's saying in the song?
In a verse, she said like a lot of young people lost their hope and dreams, and like the future is nowhere to be found. So we just keep on fighting, and the revolution must win. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, welcome.
Di lang ko shop ka ne nge di nyo lin tha ke deအိမ်မက်တွေလဲရောင်းနေလာချိန်ဖူးပွင့်နေမဲ့ပန်းလိုပဲအားလုံးရှင်မလှမ်းချိုစိတ်အနာကစိတ်ကမဟုတ်အိမ်ပြန်ချိန်အရင်ခက်ဆုပ်ဆုပ်ပေါ်မှာပြေးလွှားနေတယ်ညညလူတွေဘဝကိုလည်းဆိုင်မှာကုန်ဆုံးစိတ်ကလေးလူတွေအကြောင်းကိုသိလာရင်ဒါကသူရဲ့ revolution ယုံကြည်မှုနဲ့လွတ်လပ်ခြင်းအတွက်အသက်ကိုပြည့်စက်စွန့်နိုင်ခဲ့တဲ့သူတွေစွန့်သွားကြတန်ဖိုးထားအတဲ့သူတွေကိုတန်ဖိုးထားအောင်မြင်မှုပန်းနိုင်ရောက်သွားမယ်ငါတို့အားလုံးပြန်ကြိုးစားချဲစင်တွေသွားတဲ့လမ်းဟခန်းနာနဲ့အတော်နဲ့ပြန်ပန်းကြောက်တဲ့ဘုံမညော့ပြန်မလဲကြောက်တဲ့တိတ်ပေါင်းတွေကပြန်လဲထားလို့ဒီမိုကရေစီကကြီးချမ်းရှောင်းလန်းကြောက်ဆိုခေတ်ဘုံကိုထမ်းတဲ့အဖောက်ခေတ်လမ်းကိုရှောင်းအခေတ်ကကြောက်ပြန်မလဲပါနာပြည်သူအာဏာပြည်သူအတွက်ထူထောင်ပါတီမတို့ရဲ့ရှိတော်မအောင်ရခေတ်ဘုံကိုထမ်းတဲ့အဖောက်ခေတ်လမ်းကိုရှောင်းအခေတ်ကကြောက်ပြန်မလဲပါနာပြည်သူအာဏာပြည်သူအတွက်ထူထောင်ပါတီမတို့ရဲ့ရှိတော်မအောင်ရပြောင်းလဲများတဲ့နိုင်ငံအတွက်သင်ပါစဉ်းစားခဲ့ဘူးလေလူတယောက်ဟာအာဏာယူစီးစိမ်တရမှုပဲပျက်စီးဆုံးရှုံးသွားတဲ့ဘဝတွေအတွက်ကြလာတော့ဆိုပဲကဘာကြီးပြောင်းလဲတိုင်းပဲပြောင်းလဲခြင်းနဲ့Come on လူလူရဲ့စံတာအမတ်တရားနှလုံးသားနဲ့ရင်အတ္တမကိုတွန်းလှန်ကြပြီးစတက်ခိုင်းနိုင်တယ်ချုံတော်မှုတွေအားလုံးပြိုစင်သွားစေရမယ်ချုံရွှင်မာနေကြတဲ့ on the institution ပြည်သူကိုလက်နက်မှုပြည်သူတွေကတတ်ပါလို့ဒါတောင်ကိုကြုံရင်မိပင်လဲကိုဖြတ်လာသူအလုံးသမားလေသမားတိုင်းရလာတော့ပြည်သူများအေးအားစုကအောင်မြင်မှုအတွက်တူတူစက်ခါယူရှေ့ရှေ့ကျစင်နဲ့သွားတဲ့လမ်းဟခန်းနာနဲ့အတော်နဲ့ပြန်တန်းကြောက်တဲ့ဘုံမညော့ပြန်မလဲကြောက်တဲ့တိတ်ပေါင်းတွေကပြန်လဲထားလို့ဒီမိုကရေစီကကြီးချမ်းရှောင်းလန်းကြောက်ဆိုခေတ်ဘုံကိုထမ်းတဲ့အဖောက်ခေတ်လမ်းကိုရှောင်းအခေတ်ကကြောက်ပြန်မလဲပါနာပြည်သူအာဏာပြည်သူအတွက်ထူထောင်ပါတီမတို့ရဲ့ရှိတော်မအောင်ရခေတ်ဘုံကိုထမ်းတဲ့အဖောက်ခေတ်လမ်းကိုရှောင်းအခေတ်ကကြောက်ပြန်မလဲပါနာပြည်သူအာဏာပြည်သူအတွက်ထူထောင်ပါတီမတို့ရဲ့ရှိတော်မအောင်ရခေတ်ဘုံကိုထမ်းတဲ့အဖောက်ခေတ်လမ်းကိုရှောင်း